In April 1912, the largest passenger ship ever constructed slipped its moorings in Southampton. At over 880 feet long, it was praised by the press as a floating palace, a triumph of engineering that proved human technology had conquered the ocean. The passenger list carried more than 2,200 people. The wealthiest business magnates in the world shared the voyage with immigrants carrying everything they owned, all sailing under the strict guarantee that the vessel was unsinkable. We all know how the voyage ends. On the night of April 14th, the ship struck an iceberg, triggering one of the highest casualty events in maritime history. But an iceberg is only a passive hazard. It is just a piece of drifting ice, not a predator. The collision and the staggering death toll that followed were the result of a fatal, compounding chain of preventable human errors. To understand the true mechanics of the tragedy, we have to look past the physical impact and examine the cost of institutional overconfidence. As the ship steamed deeper into the North Atlantic, the environment shifted. Nearby vessels began transmitting urgent wireless messages about dangerous ice fields ahead. Those warnings hit a massive bottleneck. The ship's wireless operators were completely overwhelmed by an influx of personal telegrams from wealthy passengers. Critical navigational intelligence was delayed or ignored entirely. Outside, the environmental conditions created a perfect visual trap. With no moon and an ocean surface sitting flat like black glass, there were no breaking waves to reveal the base of floating ice. Lookouts scanning the pitch-dark horizon had no warning. Finally, at 11:40 p.m., a shape emerged directly in the ship's path. This schematic shows the physical impossibility of the situation. The bridge immediately ordered a hard turn and engine reversal. But a vessel of that mass, moving at that speed, is simply too large to halt in such a short distance. The operators ignored the intelligence. The ocean masked the visual cues. By the time the lookouts saw the threat, physics mathematically guaranteed the collision. Below the waterline, the ice shears open a series of holes. Freezing seawater rushes violently into multiple forward compartments. The ship's designer, Thomas Andrews, quickly surveys the damage below decks. He tallies the breached compartments and reaches a devastating mathematical certainty. The unsinkable vessel is going down. This chart highlights the most fatal flaw in the ship's design. Complying with drastically outdated maritime laws, the builders provided lifeboats for barely half the people on board. In the resulting panic, even those scarce seats are wasted. Terrified that the suspension mechanisms will buckle under a full load, the crew launches early lifeboats with massive gaps. Boats designed for 65 people hit the water with fewer than 30. Meanwhile, deep below deck, third-class passengers are battling a maze of locked gates, heavy structural confusion, and severe language barriers. Their escape to the upper decks is delayed until the water is literally at their feet. Amidst the spreading chaos on the tilting decks, the ship's band sets up their instruments. Knowing they have no way off, they play music into the freezing night to maintain order. Over 1,500 people died, dictated by inadequate safety regulations, panic-driven evacuation errors, and total structural failure. At 2:20 a.m., the immense hull slips completely below the surface. Thousands are cast into freezing water, where survival lasts only minutes. The screams echo in the darkness, and then, one by one, they fade away. For 73 years, the wreckage sat undisturbed in the pitch black. Then, in 1985, a team led by ocean explorer Robert Ballard located the remains roughly 12,500 feet below the surface. The visual evidence finally killed the enduring myth that the ship sank gracefully in one piece. The immense physical forces split the massive hull into two jagged sections before it hit the ocean floor. Between those sections lies a vast debris field. Suitcases, broken clocks, and pairs of leather shoes rest quietly on the sediment, marking exactly where lives were abruptly halted. The wreck of the Titanic sits at the bottom of the Atlantic as a permanent physical record. It proves that no engineering achievement is perfect, and that the greatest threat to human life is the absolute certainty that disaster is impossible.